Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I don't have a bingo, and it's a slightly unbalanced rack. I could play Brata, using all my A's, or I could just play Bar, and I think I will because Rant is quite a good four-letter set. Just having a look at the score for Brata. 22, 11 more points. I'm going with Bar. Not great. Just the one vowel. And no scoring tiles. But I think this rack is too good to change. I can't see anything through, or any bingo through an A. Great, the A's remain available. And I could play Glad, keeping NRT. And this spot is more dangerous than the double letter square, because an X could go on it. So Glad for 19. Great, I have Tinea, which plays above and below the A of Bar. Roquet, quite a hot lane as a double-double. Now, do I have an alternative bingo onto the G? I have the ING ending. Well, opponent did have the X rather. Plays Ox for 40. And now I have a much better spot for Tinea. So Tinea for 83. Not great. But I do have a scoring tile in the P. Column 8 not particularly hot at the bottom because the I covers this double letter square. Bar takes an E in front, so I may be able to play over the top of Bar. I don't have a bingo with this rack. I'm sure Autopod isn't good. I've got the out prefix, but there's no bingo there, I'm sure. Now, can I place my P over AW? And I'd like to get rid of O and U as well. So I can do that without do. Rack leaves quite good. And I'm obstructing the use of this triple letter square. And 18 points, not a disaster from a rack this poor to start with. And also placing the U here with having the P gives me the possibility of an upward next turn. So outdo for 18. Not great. The F and the P don't go well together, and I've got duplicate I. I don't have any upwards. Uppy, not good. I have a 50-point lead. Both F and P can go in front of OR. So I could play App. Still available. And opponent is blocking the board, which is good. I can continue to block it with App for 35, which is a big score. And the rack leave, not terrible. Scoring tiles benefit from vowels, and the I goes well with the F. So I'm unlikely to have a bingo next go, but I should have choices of moves as opposed to needing to change. So App for 35. I draw another I. And this is about as bad as this rack can get, because it's not easy to play off an F and two I's with the floaters on the board. Finny is good, but no floating N. And my fine, not good. I don't have any extension to UG. IO takes an N and an S. Can't see a way of playing through that. F takes an F after it, so I could play Phi, but the score would be low and I'd be opening up a scoring spot for my opponent. Lote is good, so this is more of a possibility. Phi for 16. And again, the rack leave, not terrible, because the M as a scoring tile goes well with vowels, and in particular goes well, it goes well with all vowels, in fact. So 5 for 16. Pretty good. I draw an S. Can't see a 7 here, but I'm sure there will be some 8s. And I should be able to leave a pretty good rack leave. I just need to play off the M and one of the I's. A Bi takes a B and a G in front. G of glad available as a floater for an ING word. Can't see anywhere great for MI. Possibly coming down off outdo, which would obstruct column 13 as a bingo lane. UG taking an H and an S. Now through an R I would have semi-arid. Wow, opponent goes in that spot that I was contemplating blocking, 76 points, so he goes into a 10-point lead. And he provides no floaters. So, what to do? I could do with the board being a little more open. I could play my and if, opening up column 1. That's a really blocky play because UGS takes nothing after it. However, I am only 10 points behind, so I don't need to be too volatile. My and if, only 12 points. There must be something better than that, surely. Now, just the one S left. And I've got an S on my rack, so my opponent probably does not have that S on his rack. Is there a way of taking advantage of that by setting up an F, an S-only hook? What about a play in column 12 beginning with M? If I play just MI, but that takes more than just an S after it. Now, only one D left as well. I was thinking about playing AMI, and it is tempting. However, AMI takes A, D, E, N, S, just too many hooks. So, what about this? Vim for 14. Only takes an S after it. I've got one. I am level with my opponent, and my opponent might be worried about that and block it for a low score. I'm going with this. Okay, so I have sidearm and Sedarim in column 15, and misread. Do I have any bingos elsewhere? App only takes a Y in front. I don't have any hooks for a Bi. What about the S of Selkies? Great, look at this. Opponent has not blocked the Vim's hook, and indeed has provided a new hook. Crest takes an A, S and possibly a Y. So how can I maximise score? Is there a way of getting my M doubled? Well, there is, because I can play sidearm. 98 points. Fantastic. And quite a good pickup. I may not have a bingo here, but it looks a balanced rack, no duplicates, and I've got a scoring tile. And look at this, I have the H for going underneath the C. That stays available, a good score for my opponent. So I've got a 30 or 40 point lead. I've got Thulia on my rack, but that's only a 6. Do I have any plays ending H-E-Y? Don't think so. What about a play ending with H? And I'm really looking for a play which burns the U, because that is non-bingo-y. Okay, what about a play keeping the U? Well, I could play Lav. About 30 points, not bad. But the rack leave is atrocious. However, the board then is super tight. So can I do a little bit better? The trouble with Lav is that it leaves 3 vowels. Is there a play which leaves just 2 vowels? 11 minutes on my clock. I think Lathe is good. It is, great. So Lathe for 31. Awful stuff. W and U a bad combination. G makes it worse. So even though the rack's balanced and no duplicates, it's pretty much as bad as such a rack can be. However, I have a 70 point lead on a board which is looking pretty blocked. But still a blank out there. Only one eye, which may be useful in terms of limiting my opponent's chances of having an ING play in column 3. Now I have a G for making Gabby. So do I have a 4-letter play ending in G? Twig, I do. Okay, that has a lot of strategic merit, taking out 2 bingo lanes and splitting up and playing off 2 out of G, U and W. Well, opponent opens the board up in a pretty good way. Larum takes an A in front, still 2 A's to come. And I probably ought to be concerning myself with the top right more than with the bingo lanes I was contemplating blocking. And I think I can score more up here as well. So I can play Wig, which kills the top. Absolutely kills it dead. 26 points, and this rack leave isn't terrible, and I'm burning off 2 out of GUW, so there's a lot that's good with this move, and I'm playing it. Wow, I draw the final S, and this rack looks pretty good. If my opponent opens the board again, I could have a bingo. I think Scouter may be good. Couters, Croots. Wow, 50 points for my opponent. Okay. Not as blocking as I thought. So, where are the bingo lanes on this board? I don't have anything which goes in front of a by. I don't have a Y for going in front of at. This rack doesn't have a bingo ending in G. What about a play in row D through OR? Ending ORS perhaps. I've got the out prefix. Okay, not seeing anything there. Outscore onto an E, but really no floaters on this board. I've still got a 30-point lead and 12 tiles in the bag. So I'm looking to play off the U, and I'd like to keep the score rolling along. Since my lead is so slender, I wouldn't want my opponent to catch me without bingoing. 9 minutes on my clock. So what about a play ending OR? So I could play crew or, and I'm thinking about playing the S. Crew or is only 14 points. The S, how useful is that? There are no S bingo lanes on this board, and this takes the score all the way up to 27. Let me check the remaining vowel situation. 8 out of 19, which means that this vowel heavy rack leave isn't as bad as it otherwise would be, and crew oars is quite blocky because C only takes an H after it. Not bad. I dodged the Q and the V. Can't see a 7 with this rack. I have elongate through a G, but the G of glad doesn't work for that. Opponent, well, he's not out of it. A bingo would put him into the lead and possibly give him the game. 6 tiles in the bag, including an H, so there could be a big H score in row E. So, what to do? Not easy. Is there a way of taking out this G without creating a bingo lane? And I don't really want to play off a lot of tiles because I don't want to draw the Q. I could play A for 14, keeping a balanced rack, but LN and T don't go great together. 7 minutes on my clock. What about extending Ox? Can't do that. Can't front extend it. Anything down onto the G is not going to score very much. I'm just wondering about taking out this H possibility. Well, I was thinking about playing Law, L-O-E. It provides a floating L, but it takes out a high-scoring non-bingo play. I think Law only takes a B in front, not particularly dangerous, but only 8 points. Can I do better than that? The rack leaves good. If I draw the Q, I've got cat, al, and tar, and cat, far, and it. So I do need to hang on to A and T. I think this is okay. I'm going with this. I dodged the Q, but opponent, there's still a U and a blank out there, so the Q could be a good scoring tile. Do I have something onto the L, as in a bingo? I don't think so. Anti-venin onto IN. Now I have IN for ING. No bingo there, but that's pretty good seeing that I. It means if my opponent plays an ING word, he's got to use the blank as an I. Just 3 tiles in the bag. I would have Venetian through an E. I have venting onto the G, but that's not a great play because it takes an E in front. For my opponent to play cat, he'd have to burn the blank as a T, so those 2 cat spots are not really available for him unless he uses the blank. I have the last T. This is a close end to the game, although I have a lead of 50 points with a blank out there and bingo lanes on the board. And the QU out there. This could be close. So, what candidate plays do I have? I've got the scoring tile in the V. If my opponent plays off 3 tiles, this will be the final tiles that I have, so I'll be looking to go out in 2. I've got Vanal onto the L, which is quite nice, because nothing goes before or after the V, so I won't be creating any bingo lanes, and I'll be taking 1 out, and I'll be leaving myself with just 2 tiles. Great, opponent had the H, and look at that, only 12 points. Fantastic. So, what do I do here? I don't think my opponent has got a bingo. What if the Q and the J are in the bag? Well, maybe he does. So do I play onto this L, that Vanal play I was mentioning? He's probably got at least 2 of these vowels, so I could easily draw 2 consonants. Only 5 minutes on my clock. Do I play off just 1 tile? Tricky situation, and I've only got 5 minutes on my clock. Is there anywhere to play off just the V? So no, so I guess the tile to play off is the N. But is it right to play off? If there's no bingos left, maybe I should be playing off a lot of tiles, hoping to just go out in 1. So what about playing Vineal, keeping NT, then opponent plays Cat over the top? Not good. 4 minutes on my clock. If I play Vang, opponent could play Quad, something like that. So, what about playing Vig? Hopelessly low score. And it empties the bag. I need to hang on to A and T in case I draw the Q. That can't be a good play because my opponent really hasn't got anything down onto the G. So I'm not taking out a good scoring spot. I have no idea what to do here. And I've got 3 minutes to do it. I don't have anything playing onto HE. I don't think vanting is good. So is there any way to play off just V and N? And it doesn't feel right just playing off a few tiles. Two minutes on my clock. Well, maybe there's some other possibilities here. I don't have to play Vineal. I could play... well, that's even worse. So what if I play Vineal and opponent plays Cat? 55 points. I get 19 for Vineal, which is a decent score, so I go to 404. 56 point lead. Opponent plays Cat. Just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel optimal. I'm playing it. I don't think my opponent's got the cue. I think it's in the bag. I'm not playing it. I'm playing Vig for 8. Well, I ran out of time there. I don't think Vig is great. I don't think it's giving away masses. I can see what my opponent's got. He's got the J and the Q. The blank I don't think avails him a great deal. I've got a 50-point lead. I guess my opponent could play Jive. But then I'm not sure he's going to play his Q anywhere. But I'm short on time. Great, he plays the Q for just 11 points. In a spot provided by me. I need to go out in 2. I don't think my opponent can. And I haven't got much time. I've got 1 minute. Do I have a play ending CH? Tench, but then I get Jot played. 50 seconds to go. Okay, I'm super running out of time here. I'm not going out in 2, and I could be caught. And my opponent can now play under the F with his J. I've got the A for JA, so that might stop him doing that. And if he doesn't play there, I can go there. With An or Tan. Opponent's got 11 minutes on his clock. And I'm definitely shipping points through being short on time. I could have done with leaving myself an out through the L. But I don't have that luxury. I'm going to have to grind out this win. J for 19. Okay, good. Opponent can probably go out. Tan for 18. This might be a disaster if opponent's got a 4-letter play at the bottom. I don't think he has, but I haven't got time to work that out. I may be stuck with a tile. Can I play my U anywhere? I've got UN. AU not good. This is a pretty tragic end to the game. But it will be okay if I can hang on. I've got a lead of 40 points. The opponent needs to go out and score 30 odd points. So does he have a play down at the bottom here? I don't think he does. I just don't, and without a play at the bottom, I just don't think he can score enough. 15 seconds. Anywhere else for the U apart from UN? Your and Okay, great. I'm not going to be stuck with the U. Is there anywhere to play off A and U together? 15 seconds on my clock. Uter is good, but REU isn't. Nothing between N and L. Can't play Uva. Well, opponent's got 9 minutes on his clock. Can he find something? Surely not. Okay, 20 odd points for my opponent. I'm playing Ewer for 5, and I can got JA for something. Opponent needs to score about 25 points with N blank. Can he do that? And I've got Crester as well. He might try and force me overtime. That isn't going to happen. Wow, I couldn't see where my opponent had played for a moment, and I caused myself unnecessary grief at the end there, because when I played Ure, I could have played Urea and ended the game. So where did my opponent play? He played Vigs for... Where's Vig? It's here somewhere. Vigs and Socks, wow. Okay, for 16 points and just 4 seconds left on the clock at the end. So, final score, 416 to my opponent, 438 to me, a winning margin of 22 points. So a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. So, it was me to go fast. I thought about Brata and went for the shorter word in the end, bar. And I think that's right, Brata would have provided access to all of these double word squares with these big scoring tiles. Opponent plays Toy. And now I play Glad for 19, and I could have got 26. G5. Running over the top of bar with Gland. That would have been, well, possibly better and possibly not, since underneath this O is a triple letter square. Opponent's rack. Plays Ox for 40. 64 available for overtax. Now I get off to a great start with Tinia for 83. Trienia also playable. Opponent's rack, not great. Plays Wii. And I play Outdo here for 18. A few more points available, but I prefer my rack leave of AP to one switch keeper U. Opponent plays a Veg. And now this is a tricky rack. I have a small lead. But App does the job. Opponent plays Of. And now the rack deteriorates. Wow, look at that. Fem keeping 3 eyes cannot be best. So I play 5 for 16. And I still like that. And now a great bingo by my opponent with Selkies. And I trail by 10, but I've got a nice rack. No bingo. Nice word there, demi-veg onto veg. I play Vim for 14, which is a lot less. However, I do have an S, so I'm playing that for strategic reasons. Opponent plays Crest, and now I have some very high scoring bingos as a consequence of playing Vim. Although I would have had a bingo anyway coming down onto Crest. Horrible rack for my opponent. He plays Bray. Now this was a rack I struggled with before eventually playing Lath. Wow! Laundry for 68. Making Yap. Fantastic. And fantastic for me that it wasn't spotted. Opponent plays Larum. I have a horrible rack and have about a 50-point lead and play Wig, which is great for my opponent. He plays Zoe, and now my lead is just 30 points. I have a bingo, nowhere to play it. So I play Cruors for 27, and I still like that. It's a good score, and it's not providing anything huge for my opponent, unless he's got an H. Opponent plays Ned. And now I think we begin the descent into a very long and scrappy end game where it's really hard to find anything which scores and which doesn't open up the board for your opponent, especially when you've got no scoring tiles. So here I played Law because I was concerned about the scoring potential of the H. Opponent does have the H and plays it. N1 Van. Yeah. Now, was this the rack I really struggled with? Because Van is quite nice, sticking the V over this triple letter square. It is. Wow. Okay, I should have played Van. Opponent plays Chi. N1 Een. Well, I play NE. Opponent plays Joe for 19. And at this point, I've got a 25-point lead. And I play Tan. Probably not best. Maybe a play of Nat would be better because, well, I was going to say IT only takes an S, but it also takes an A, so I'm not sure about that. And now finally, opponent could go out with Deny at D6. Deny and Yap, but that wouldn't be enough. He plays Ed. Now Urea was the only out, which I didn't spot. Opponent plays off just one tile. And I have the A, and I could have got 13 for Alarum. But I played Jar for 9. And that was the end of the game. So great to be back to winning ways. Really, really tricky end sequence there, especially under time pressure, and that, although it's probably full of errors at the end there, that's quite realistic in terms of what can happen in tournaments where you're under the additional pressure of the game counting towards the tournament. So you often see mistakes at late stages in tournaments in big games, and it's certainly part of the excitement, and part of the excitement if you're watching the game as well. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.